Whether it's the regular season or the off-season, we have you covered as we give you the best Tennessee Titans and NFL news and insight that a fan could ask for. You're watching the Titan Upload Network.
Watching the Power Hour with your hosts, Michael Bishop and Tyler Staggs.
The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and as always, thank you for joining us on this fine Monday evening. As the off-season rolls on, we have a lot to talk about regardless, because that's how we do here on the Power Hour and, of course, on the Titan Upload Network to give you the best information and Tennessee Titans and NFL info every day that we can, every time we're on Monday, because that's how we do it. And, of course, I can't do it on my own. I have so little to do with it, but, of course, I'm talking about bringing in my main man and right-hand man, Tyler Staggs. As always, good seeing him on a Monday. Tyler, I got to tell you, man, before we get into everything, there's just been so much circulation on the topic of Cam Ward's potential regression. So I don't want to jump too much into it, but let's just give it a little taste before we get going. But, let me back up a little bit because we're getting too excited. It's Monday. I know we want to talk football here, but at the same time, I got to get pleasantries out of the way, of course. How are you doing on this fine Monday?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. Excited to be here talking Titans football with you. I mean, every month, like every weekend, really. Like, especially when Sunday hits, it's like, man, do I really have to go to work tomorrow on Monday? But then it's like, hey, tomorrow's Monday. I get to sit down with my best friend and talk Titans football. So let's make it through this day of work and then get to the real fun.
As always, man, I'm always excited as well. I mean, we spend a week getting ready and prepared, especially for every topic that we come up with. And of course, regardless of how June kind of just pitter-patters along, you kind of have to just hit the dog days of summer because obviously not a lot's going to be happening. But that's not the case. Starting tomorrow, mandatory minicamp is going to hit, and I think that's the best place to start going forward. So let's not waste any time, man. Are you ready to jump into segment number one?
I am.
Hitting it with segment number one with Tyler Staggs on the Power Hour, of course, with your host, Michael Bishop. Let's jump into it right now.
And here's the kick.
So let's just go ahead and hit the nail on the head. Tomorrow morning, mandatory minicamp begins, and I think everybody's going to be excited for the next couple of days. Going to be more intense, going to be more realistic kind of situation setting up for the off-season. Heading into July, I really feel this is the big first taste of what we're going to get with a Brian Daboll offense, a Robert Saleh defense, the whole shebang-a-bang. But of course, Tyler, that's just only scratching the surface of everything going forward. So, like I said, we'll talk about Cam Ward. I'm going to set that kind of to the side right now because I don't want to get too involved with that because there's definitely a lot to talk about and a lot of feelings are going to be put on place. But let's take our time getting into it. We got an hour show. It's all about progression and setting it up at the right time. You know how I roll. So let's go this way. Obviously, Carnell Tate has just been the darling of the OTA session, and I think he's going to be one of the favorites to watch as mandatory minicamp starts tomorrow. All eyes are definitely going to be fixated on the number 4 overall pick from 2026. So, Tyler, give me your take on Carnell Tate. What are you expecting to see from him in these next couple of days?
Yeah, so these next couple of days, because, here's the thing. Obviously, mandatory minicamp. Everyone is going to be there. And I'm going to start out with this. One thing I would love to see from him, I want to see some reps of like Carnell Tate against like Alontae Taylor. Like that's what I want to see. We know Cordell Flott is kind of dealing with an injury, but I want to see him against one of these top corners and hear about what he's doing against them. But as far as what I expect from him, I expect that he's going to keep doing what we've been seeing him do. I think he is going to keep having flashes of, picking up the offense more, getting behind the defense, making incredible catches. Like essentially it's from OTAs. He's already kind of been as advertised. And yes, you can take it with a grain of salt because they're not in pads for the OTA practices, but I expect him to keep doing those things and keep growing and keep refining his skills even more.
And of course, you talk about those skill sets that he's going to bring for the next couple of days. Competition's the biggest thing. I want to see guys go at each other as much as they can within reason of just not breaking any kind of rules as mandatory minicamp sets in place for these guys. So still limited to what they can do, but obviously it's going to be a little more physical. They're going to be competing for these next couple of days, and that's going to be the exciting part. So already talked about the offensive side of the ball, looking at the defensive side and staying with the draft pick as well. Anthony Hill Jr. to me is going to be fun to watch. I don't know right now if he's able to jump into that starting spot, especially trying to get acclimated to this defense. And Robert Saleh is going to get him on a fast track, of course, as quickly as he can pick it up. But what do you expect for this rookie defensive lineman is going to have to basically get himself acclimated to the defense going forward? What are you going to be looking forward on that side of the ball?
Yeah, as far as what I'm going to be looking for on that side of the ball with Anthony Hill, obviously just continuing to, pick up the playbook even more, know what Saleh expects in his defense. We've already seen, I believe, if I remember right, going back to OTAs, I think didn't he have an interception? And, if you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, or they can fact check it in the chat.
We can always fact check it and going back. So, I'll say yes, because it sounds definitely like something that he's done. But if we're wrong, hit us with the facts. We'll apologize later.
Yeah. And, again, I just expect him to keep picking that up. And really just what I want to hear about or see from him is continuing to fly all over the field, because obviously we have Cedric Gray where it's kind of up in the air who's going to be starting there next to him. I want to see Anthony Hill just kind of take the reins and figuratively push Cody Barton to the side, take over that spot from him. Yes, Barton's a veteran, learn from him, but, whether that be attacking the ball downhill in the run game, whether that be, knowing where he's supposed to drop in coverage, I just want to see him flying all over.
And, of course, I got to give a shout-out to our guy, Waken, for being back on the show. Waken, I promise you we will get to your question shortly. We're kind of just putting a pin in that topic because I think it's a big topic to talk about. So we'll put that right to the side, and we'll get back to you shortly. So believe me, I'm paying attention, and it's definitely a big topic to talk about, especially with Cam Ward. Just going to stick a pin in that for the moment. So, Tyler, sticking with the draft picks, and I think this is definitely important, especially for the later round guys, because you got to see what you're going to have to look forward to in the future. Somebody's maybe going to have to push for one of those jobs long term, but I'm not expecting them just to grab it just like that. I think it's going to come with just work ethic. It's going to come with them building themselves up with the offensive system in place, or defensive system, rather, that if that's going to be the simplest of analogies that I could give. So out of the later round picks, who do you think is going to be one of the guys that everybody needs to pay attention to?
Oh man. Mm.
You're definitely
That
not short of choices.
yeah. Um man, I my my heart really wants to go with like uh one of the offensive linemen. But then again, that's because like I feel like that's just because I picked them in mock drafts, and then to see it come to fruition with the
You
Titans
definitely did.
actually taking them, I'm like,
Agreed.
yeah, I want to see that happening. But also, I'm gonna throw a different name out there, and um, Marshall. I want to see where he's gonna fit in on this defensive line in the rotation. Like, where can he work up to
Okay.
in this rotation? Like, is is he going to be a guy that they can kind of move around to some different spots? And so that's who I kind of want to watch as far as the later round guys.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, retrospectively, the defensive line's pretty stacked on this Titans team this year. But regardless, I want to see what every guy's going to bring to the table, how they're going to fit in Robert Saleh's system, how Gus Bradley's going to utilize them when they get this defense on its feet and running in a real game situation. So, that being said, especially with the competition aspect, what jobs do you think are going to be the most interesting to watch, especially in terms of competition? Obviously, we know offensive line is going to be one of those. But once a position battle that we may be undervaluing going into this situation.
Mm. I'm I'm actually going to go with the edge because and part of my reason for that is like where and this is even going back to last year, like where Femi is going to like fit in because I don't think he really did anything in OTAs. And
Hmm.
now especially getting everyone back for mandatory minicamp, where how that edge battle ends up panning out. Like, obviously you're not naming all of your starters in June. Like you're going to have your battles throughout the summer. Things will come to fruition more as you get closer to the regular season, but as far as a jump start, like where does he start fitting in with this edge group? Does is he kind of more with the starters or the ones or kind of the backup or even like 3 or 4?
And that's a good point. I mean, because, outside of Jeremiah Johnson, who's fighting for a contract, Femi's just been very quiet through this OTA session, and you're really hoping to see a little bit more from him going forward. And it's a little disheartening, even because, you pay you make that type of pick last year in the second round, expecting that he's going to come in and make a difference. Unfortunately, injury cuts his season short. So now it's basically start from scratch, new defense, new system, playing him in different positions. So, yeah, I think that's definitely going to be one of those situational battles that's going to be interesting, especially for the next couple of days. Now, everybody's been patient, and I appreciate the patience, of course. And shout out to What's Shaking Titans as well. Good seeing you, buddy. Loves having you on here. Great show, by the way. Check him out. But of course, Tyler, I put a pin in it. Now I'm going to pull the pin out, and we're going to hit this discussion running because this is the elephant in the room, and it needs to be discussed. Cameron Ward, let's just say, hasn't had the greatest of OTAs. And now we've got all these so-called experts and film evaluators coming out of the woodworks and saying, well, if I had to put my reputation on it, I'm saying this guy's a bust because, quarterback in his second year, learning a new offense, obviously not picking it up in June. I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster, Tyler. What am I talking about? Could I honestly think for a second that this is just the mindset that we've just put ourselves into, that this fan base has just been so battered over the last few years that now we have to have certain media authorities come out and say, well, I'm just going to put my reputation on it because I'm saying so. Because now I just don't buy the Cam Ward hype. I mean, what am I wrong here, Tyler? Is it just a little too on the nose right now?
Man, I'm telling you, and let's keep it fair, because I do want to get this out there, because I feel like all of Titans media ended up catching like strays last week, when that's
Indeed.
not the case. I mean, they are doing their job. They are reporting on what they see. But it was just one media person that is...
Let's not name names, though. Let's not name names.
No, I'm not naming names, but wants to stake their claim that Cam Ward is a bust because of year 2 in a new system. He's not picking it up in the month of June. Like, the way that this made my head want to explode, because of how, man, I'm trying to be a little bit nice, but you saw that I put media in quotes, because it's just a guy, I feel like, looking for the hot take. And how can I take you seriously on quarterback takes when you were singing Anthony Richardson's praises before he was drafted? Like, really? You were on the Anthony Richardson hype train, but you think Cam Ward is a bust? Like, what sold you on Anthony Richardson? Like, and not to throw strays at Anthony Richardson or anything like that, but you get where I'm going with this, because
they're well-deserved strays. They're well-deserved strays, though.
He was the 4th overall pick in the year that he was drafted. Like, come on, but you want to down Cam Ward. And, little sneak peek for a video that we will have coming out, Michael. But, I sent you this yesterday. I'm like, if you're saying this about Cam Ward after his rookie season, like, what were you saying about Steve McNair in his first 2 seasons, where he actually got to play all 16 games in 97 and 98? Like, granted, and I give it to him, Steve McNair done more on the ground in the run game than Cam Ward has. But if you're looking at it just strictly from the passing aspect and what they do as a quarterback through the air, Cam Ward's rookie season was better than what Steve McNair was doing in 97 and 98, when that was his, like, 3rd and 4th year in the league. Like, so, and again, this is not shots at Steve McNair. This is going back to, like, the people calling Cam a bust already. Like, What were you saying about Steve McNair back then? Because I guarantee you it was a different tune than what you think of now when you're talking about Steve. And it's the biggest part that just drives me crazy is the fact that these claims are being, this is what I'm hammering home, this is where I'm putting my stake in the ground, for a June practice. We're talking about June practices? Like,
take a lesson from Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice, y'all. Not the game. Not a scrimmage, not an exhibition. We're talking about practice. And Which Aiken's definitely going to agree on us with this. I mean, he's definitely going to have time to learn the system. I would have my worries if he has the perfect OTAs. Remember, y'all, Mariota's rookie year, we had no interceptions during OTAs and minicamp. Look how that turned out. And that's a fair point. But let me add to your point, Tyler. And I think this is definitely, especially a situation that needs to be discussed, especially for you film evaluators out there. And there's some good ones out there. I'm not trying to throw shade. There's plenty of these guys that spend time evaluating film properly and knowing how to diagnose every little detail of what can help evaluate a quarterback properly. There are going to be guys that come out and critique Cam Ward unfairly for some people and for some fans that's going to rub the wrong way. And that's fine. My whole take is, what is everybody else saying? And from the ones I've talked to, they very much outnumber the ones that see Cam Ward in a negative light. I have more positive outlook on what Cam Ward can be than the negative. And Cam Ward has things he has to work on. Nobody's not saying that. Nobody's trying to deny that at all. But can we just get to a few points where people just cherry pick things that help sell their narrative? Yes, Cam Ward had a fumbling problem. That's very much the truth last year. Guess who else had a fumbling problem their rookie year, Tyler? Lamar Jackson did. 12 times in the regular season and the playoffs. Now he's actually pretty good at handling the ball now. That's what coaching is. That's what taking the situation like that and correcting it properly. The thing is, nowadays, we want quick gratification with any position that gets drafted, and we expect instant success. Kids, Uncle Mike's got a message for you. That's not how it works in the real world. Not everybody just shows up to the big leagues and is ready to go. There's growing pains. There's learning the system. There's learning how to play the game. There's learning how to be a leader. Those are the massive traits that you have to understand, especially when playing the position of quarterback. And people that evaluate film tend to forget that it is not just X's and O's. It's also personality. It's also work ethic. It's also determination. We construe this into a little bubble, and it does not work that way. Football is complex. It is about a game of emotions, a game of intelligence. You have to understand. You have to know what you're doing out there to be successful in the NFL, at any position for that matter. And the fact that we want Cam Ward to just instantly be good, that's just a disservice to us saying that. I want Cam Ward to make his mistakes. And if he's going to make his mistakes, this is the time he needs to be doing it. And I'm fine with that. But if you're not learning from them, if you're not building off them, then you're wasting time. You are doing yourself and your team a disservice. And from what I've seen with Cam Ward, when he has played in regular season games, the determination there, the skill set is there, the mindset is there. So what the hell are we talking about here?
Exactly. And I want to hit on this because Awaken, we see your comments there. And the main thing I want to hit on is, Awaken saying it's not the scheme/system that concerns me for Cam. It's about what work has Cam put in the offseason to show what he has done to progress his floor in terms of becoming a system quarterback, including accuracy. And, the accuracy is obviously that is this one media member's selling point is he's not any more accurate. Okay, let's step back to last year. First half of the season, weeks 1 through 9, we know Cam completed 57.6% of his passes. Second half of the season, he raised that up from weeks 11 through 18 to 62.4. I am not expecting, and I don't think this will ever be the case. I hope that he proves me wrong. I don't see Cam as a guy that is going to consistently complete 70% of his passes, because Cam Ward, one of his intangibles is, it's his arm and sometimes his arrogance with his arm, because he is willing to, he thinks he can make every throw. And we've seen where I mean, things that probably shouldn't work in the NFL, they worked for him. Throwing back across your body. How many times did we see that last year? And, well, it worked pretty well for him. But when it comes to the accuracy, the bigger thing is the context with what is going on with the accuracy. And this is why I made sure to throw out earlier about, not all media members for the Titans are needing to catch strays, because Easton Free's done a great job pointing this out with one of Cam's more inaccurate days of, all right, it looked like you're just seeing the notes of it saying that Cam is like 50% on his passes for the day. But what those notes aren't showing you is the fact that SALEH had a catch where he just didn't get both feet in, even though the offense thought that he did. So that counts against Cam. Then, Cam and the receiver weren't necessarily on the same page with what they were seeing. Like Cam threw it here, the receiver cut out here, looked like a miscommunication. All right, well, that comes back to the scheme and system, because their scheme and system is saying, okay, when we see this look with this play call, we have to be on the same page of what we're seeing. I expect you to be here. If you're over here, okay, then that looks bad. It looks like I'll just like way overthrew you or threw it completely behind you, something like that, when it may not be the case. And I've argued this with several people before. Yes, like you look at the stats and people tell me, oh, well, the stats are the stats. No, you have to have context with the stats too. That's why people go back and watch film to see things that happen. So, and again, I don't expect Cam to ever be the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. But when you add the context in of he's still getting on the same page with his new weapons and what they're seeing in this new scheme against certain defenses and where they expect each other to be, where the receiver expects the ball, where Cam expects the receiver to be, all of that factors in. And it's easy to just, look at the numbers. Oh, well, he only completed 50% of his passes. All right, well, let's go back and look at why.
And that's a phenomenal point, because context matters, especially in any situation, whether it's a game, whether it's an exhibition, whether it's a preseason game. It all sells the bigger picture narrative. And the thing is, and I mean, Awaken brings up Malik Willis, especially where he's put in his work and seen how far he's come in the terms of his floor. That's also a result of how good Matt LaFleur is as a coach. I also have to give credit to Brian Dable, because he's had success as well. And it just doesn't happen overnight. These guys need to make their mistakes. And that's why we have seen a slew of NFL quarterbacks fail at one stop and then go elsewhere and succeed. Sam Darnold's a classic example of that. Coaching matters. Being in the right system matters. Developing players matters. Cam Ward is in year 2 of a new system with brand new toys to play with and a brand new interior offensive line to work with. I expect there to be some growing pains. I'm not saying there aren't going to be. But realistically, anybody that is spouting their reputation on for him to fail, you're not doing yourselves any favor, except just getting clicks. And I mean, how good is that going to be anyway? Because let's be honest. People come to our show because they want to have hope. They want to be educated. They want to be enlightened. They want to be entertained. That's what we're here for. Everybody else goes through their own narrative, and that's fine. Whatever they do to get people to like click on their stuff or watch their stuff, that's understandable. Everybody has a different system that works. Nobody wants to come and watch something negative. Regardless of how angry it makes you to click on it and voice an opinion, it's temporary. I'm trying to sell you hope because, damn it, you've been beaten down for the last 4 years. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to lift you up out of the street and out of the gutter and be excited about something about this team, damn it. There's new uniforms. There's brand new coaches. There's a quarterback that has a very high potential ceiling. You have a right to be excited about that. And it infuriates me that there are people out there that so-called want to put their reputation on the line because this quarterback's going to fail. Oh, it's doom and gloom. I promise you, I put in my reputation on the line right here. Shut the hell up. I'm tired of that crap, and I know you're tired of it too. For those people that want to do that, you do you, boo-boo. But I'm telling you right now, if you're going to be on my show, you want to watch this show, I'm going to give you encouragement because, damn it, you have every right to be encouraged. You have every right to be excited. You have every right to come on the show and voice your excitement as well because I am not going to sell you on doom and gloom. We've had enough of that for the last 4 years. So, damn it, I am going to tell you as it is. Cam Ward may have work to do. Cam Ward may be making mistakes. He might be average right now in this whole OTA process, maybe even a little below average, if you want to go that way. But I'm telling you, it's June. If you're worried about him in June, I got nothing for you. Relax. Let him make his mistakes. We associate making mistakes with the ultimate failure. And it's fine to make mistakes. It's fine to fail. Failure is the greatest teacher and motivator that could ever be for any person that has ever competed in anything. So if Cam Ward is going to do that, let the man learn from his mistakes. Let him fail a little bit. I promise you, with the right people around him and finally playmakers around him that can help potentially elevate his game status, let them figure it out. There's nothing wrong with failing or making mistakes. The only thing wrong with that is making them just everyday occurrences. So with that, let's go ahead and take our first break, and when we come back, got to give a little more love to Robert SALEH, Tyler, because let's be honest, we know a little bit about the coach. Let's talk a little bit about the man and what he's potentially going to bring to the Titans for 2026. Quick 30-second break. We'll be right back after this.
Watching the Power Hour with your hosts, Michael Bishop and Tyler Staggs.
The Power Hour is on the air. Live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and as always, thank you for joining us on this fine Monday evening. Tyler, I get so excited when everybody shows up in the chat and really gets engaged, and the little number on the top just keeps just blinking away, and we just got people just showing up and showing out for us. It just melts my heart. You guys just put on, you come and show up and just show up for us, and it means so much that we continue to put out great content for you every Monday because you're worth the effort. So remember, guys, if you love the show, help it grow. Follow us on all our social media platforms at the Titan Upload Network and, of course, at the Power Hour because we're putting out great stuff for you every day. And, of course, Tyler, got to tell them about the shorts while I set everything up for our next segment.
Yeah, I mean, we've been pumping out shorts like crazy. Make sure, go check those out. We have some that are quick, fast, get your attention, fun little things that we come up with. Then we have some that are a little bit longer, but good information. So definitely go check them out.
There's nothing bad about it at all. So trust me, hit our YouTube channel after you're done. Check out some of the shorts. We do it for you. And of course, they're free. How are you going to refuse something that's free? It's above me. So just hit that after the show, and I promise you're in for a good time. So once again, you guys, phenomenal for doing that. Well, all right, Tyler, as I said, Our main segment tonight, Robert Saleh, the biggest change in Nashville, I would say, is also one of the most intriguing ones. I feel, especially with just a brilliant football mind, there's a lot more to him just as a football coach, but some intriguing points as well. So, why don't we talk about that tonight in segment two? Well, I guess the music just wants to jump right in front of me, but okay. I'll just deal with that in post-op. We'll take care of that later. But I'll tell you what I'm really excited about. The fact that Robert Saleh has just injected just an invigorating just sense of just passion in the Tennessee Titans organization in the last 6 months. And I got to tell you, it's really intriguing. Did I say 6 months? I meant 4. I can't even math right today. I apologize. Just, math is hard. But I'll tell you what's not hard. Robert Saleh's commitment to basically making this team better, because he's going to put in the work and get these guys going in the right direction. And Tyler, I mean, it's just been intriguing to watch how he's building his brand of football and bringing a different sense of culture and responsibility and even dietary changes to the Tennessee Titans, whether you want to laugh about that or not. But I think those are important things, because really, when you're a team that's been on the decline for the last 4 years, you really kind of need to think outside the box. And Robert Saleh has definitely done that in his first year as the rookie head coach.
Yeah, he definitely has. Like you said, whether it's the dietary changes, and if you want to laugh at it, whatever. But if I had this man's physique, I think I would. I think I know a thing or two. You like, obviously he sees some benefits with taking the seed oils out. Like, maybe I need to
just look at that man. That man is like just built out of marble. It's crazy.
Like, I think I'm going to trust what he's saying a little bit with this. But also, like you said, just the energy, and I feel like it's more of, like, obviously the players are liking the energy that he brings, and you want players and to be able to go talk to the coach, things like that. But at the same time, I feel like the way that he is able to hold people accountable more is also a bigger change that we're getting back to. Like, he's the guy that's going to want the best for you, but it's not like he's always going to be like your best buddy in the world. Like, he's going to do what he has to do to get you to that point and help you get to that point. So just a much needed shift, I feel like.
And of course, it comes with history. And guys that come into the NFL, especially when they get a head coaching job, have a long list of history of where they built their success and why they've gotten where they've gotten. So started out with the Houston Texans in 2005 as an intern, built his way up, getting an opportunity to go to Seattle and work under Pete Carroll, and being a big potential part of the Legion of Boom as well. So his fingerprints are right on that, Tyler. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. But of course, I also have to bring up the fact, goes with Gus Bradley to work with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Unfortunately, that situation didn't work out until Saleh moves on to the 49ers, plants his flag there, builds his defense, gets his reputation there, goes to the Jets in his first stint. And of course, it's a mixed bag. You talk to Jets fans, and some think, he should have had more time. Some think the ownership was a little bit too turmoilous for him to actually succeed. And you have a few that felt that, well, he just wasn't the right guy in the first place. So, I mean, let's just go from there, Tyler. I mean, working from that line of success to his first head coaching stint, I mean, obviously the man understands what it's going to take to be a successful head coach. But of course, I feel environment's also important in building that success long term.
Yeah, the environment is definitely important. And, this is something that we've mentioned before on this show, and I know especially you've talked about. Not every guy, when he gets his first head coaching job, is just, there's a lot that comes with it. Not everyone is going to have success right away, but you are able to see, especially if guys get a second chance, there are cases where, like one, it could be obviously the change in scenery, like being in a better place, but they've made their mistakes. They can look back at where they kind of went wrong in their first stint and build off of that and find ways to hopefully not fall into those same traps, I'm going to call them. But, this is essentially it's a blank slate for Robert Saleh. And coming into what we feel like is a better place, I think he knows what it's going to take to get it right this time.
And of course, that comes with building a strong foundation of assistant coaches to make that situation work. Of course, with the Jets, obviously on the defensive side, seemed like he had that just pegged to a T, but just offense, it was one of those situations he couldn't get nailed. And obviously a lot of turmoil, especially with Aaron Rodgers coming in, being injured, and having just a revolving door quarterback. And, I'll say, of course, Sam Darnold exiting out of that situation as well obviously doesn't help, especially when you look in terms of how that played out. So looking at this second stint, Tyler, in order to be successful, what do you think Robert Saleh needs to do? And I'll give you this. Give me 3 things what you think Robert Saleh needs to focus on for 2026 for his first year to be successful.
All right, 3 things for him to focus on. Well, I feel like one of the top things as far as being successful, and this was something that even when he was first hired, I said this, and I feel like I'm going to say this. I think you can tentatively put a check mark on it right now, because obviously we have to get to the season and see how it pans out. But it comes down to having the right guy to be the offensive coordinator. Like, success-wise, like with the Jets, you mentioned how good his defenses were. The offenses struggled. But now, here in his second stint, just so happens you get Brian Daboll that you can bring in with you to be that offensive coordinator. So you're putting the offense in his hands. And I feel like that is something where he can be involved with the offense, but he's not making, like, it's not all falling back on him. Like, he has a guy that he can trust there. So, again, feel like that's the first point to being successful this year, having the right guy at offensive coordinator. And again, I say you tentatively put the check right there because we have to see how things start playing out when the season gets here.
Understandable.
The second thing that I feel like he has to do to be successful, sorry, I'm just blanking because
you're digging deep within your soul, Tyler. I want realism in your answer, and believe me, I know you're going to give it to me. You're just building up the intensity for it.
I am, but also Al's comment caught me off guard a little bit and had me chuckling in my head, saying that this picture was an AI picture. His body was Saleh's head. So, that
Al,
that one got me a little bit.
Al, you're always loved and welcome on the show, but I will just say I do not do AI anything on here. That is just pure talent right here on the screen.
So yeah, the the second thing is, and maybe a generic answer, but we know SALEH as kind of, the defensive guy. Like, he's had these good defenses. So being able to implement that here but also, like, to add on to that point a little bit, because obviously, like, San Francisco, they were swapping guys in and out, like, along the defensive front. They want to keep guys fresh, not overplay them. And so I think also finding a way to be able to balance out and get through to a top guy like Jeffrey Simmons, who he wants to be on the field all of the time. Helping him truly understand how this is going to be better for him in the long run for the season, and how being more fresh by swapping out more can help him out.
Tyler, I appreciate you really digging into that answer. It's a good answer, by the way, but you brought up the term generic, and just in my mindset is like, it's a good answer, but it is generic. Your Frosted Flakes have Thomas the Tiger on there, and he said they're substantial. Awaken brings up his 3 points. Player development, be the best coordinated defense in the AFC South, and don't become scheme dependent. Allowed players to play freely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Solid points.
Yeah. And, obviously, I felt like that was another thing. Like, that's one thing that I feel like they do in SALEH's defense already, is defensive scheme is, especially on the front, he does let players play freely. But third thing, I'm gonna.
All right, you gotta make this count now.
I know the pressure's on now.
This is the pressure cooker. This is the final pitch, man. I need you to nail this one. I know you can. I have all the faith in the world that you can. I'm just saying, deep breath for me. Just focus and just laser it out there. Give him the heater, Tyler.
Oh, come on now. Man, I'm folding under the pressure.
You got this. Don't let the pressure cook you, man. I'm right here with you.
I'm going to go with... dang it.
Shoot it. You got it. I know you got it.
Oh, man, I'm afraid I'm about to let you down here, but I'm... Oh, Al.
Even Al's believing in you. You got this, man. Just throw the pitch.
Not giving up on the young guys too early. I mean, I know...
Ah, you got it! Yes!
Yes. Like...
right down the middle. You're too hard on yourself. Now give us that finishing thought.
Yeah, so just not giving up on, like, the young guys too quickly. Because, I mean, and it comes back to the player development. Like, if things maybe the first couple of weeks aren't starting out well, like, don't feel the pressure to make changes right away. Like, help them work through it, help them develop through it. And I think those are the three keys to success for him this year.
All right. Good points. Solid takes. I know that last one, you're sweating a little bit, but I worked with it through you. We got there. I'm proud of you. But to finish it off, Tyler, I definitely had to add one interesting tidbit. So I have one, and I was going to let you give me one back. Give me one thing that not a lot of people realize about Robert SALEH that I think we can share with the audience tonight. See, there I am throwing curveballs at you again. You weren't ready for that.
I wasn't ready.
We got to do. This is the big time, man. Like, I know, I believe in you, but I know you're going to give me another solid answer.
One thing that people might not realize about him. I think it's something that might get overlooked, but I don't think his mentality is going to let him fail a second time.
And I can live with that. Solid take right there again. And I'll finish off with mine. He's apparently a phenomenal chess player. So phenomenal, in fact, that on the grading scale of chess players, he just missed the expert level. So, yeah. So you went with the rah-rah approach. I went with the fun fact one. So
Right.
there's the difference right there. I'm not saying anyone was better. I'm just saying we just took different approaches. You know, you threw the heater. I just threw the curveball. That's what I do best, though.
That you did.
Who throws the curveball better than me on the show? You can't deny it.
It's a hard hitter, too.
It definitely is. But when I throw it, damn it, I'm going to throw it. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we love you. We mean it, but we got to send you back out into the real world. It's a quick break. We'll be back for closing time.
You're watching the Power Hour with your hosts, Michael Bishop and Tyler Staggs.
The Power Hour is on the air. Live streaming you on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop. And as always, thank you for watching us on this fine Monday evening. Guys, what can I say? You showed up, you showed out, you put in a great effort for us to put a great show out for you, the audience, because that's what we want to continually do to make sure when you show up here, you've got a great show to watch. And of course, to share as well, because sharing is caring. We want you to share the show out to all Titans fans and of course, NFL fans that want to talk or watch ball in general. So remember, if you love the show, once again, help it grow. Follow us on all our social media platforms at the Titan Upload Network and at the Power Hour. And Tyler, of course, once again, we got a lot of things in the works, so definitely share that out with the audience before we set up shop.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of things in the works. A lot of it, you know, the shorts. I want to go back to that because me and you put a lot of work into the shorts, especially right now. We've mentioned this on the show. Not a lot going on in the football world.
No.
So
No.
You know, it takes a lot of creativity and thought to come together with some of these shorts that we come up with. And every now and then, maybe we get thrown a bone of something that's a little bit easier to make a short on. But definitely go check those out. Give them some love.
But we don't have to have bones thrown to us. We just have good creative minds that just come up with great content. If bones happen to just fall our way, that's cool. We'll pick it up and run with it. But sometimes we just have just good things that just come out of the mind and just work through it. That's just how sometimes just creative minds work. And that's what we have in these two thought bubbles, two creative minds that put out great content for you. So as always, guys, love you, mean it. Thank you for showing up and showing out for us. But we got one more for you before we send you out into the real world. So hit it with the damn theme music.
Closing time. Good night, losers.
So congratulations, 53 years, the New York Knicks. No more misery, no more being the butt of the joke. You won the NBA Finals. A very hearty congratulations because you guys deserve it. And of course, this is the big lesson here. This just shows you don't have to be a superstar team. You don't have to go out and acquire massive grade A talent to win championships. Sometimes the old-fashioned way works by bringing in some guys through trades, drafting properly, and taking a shot on a guy that a lot of people feel might not be worth taking a shot on, especially in the setting where the Knicks are. Let's face it, James Dolan might be one of the most hated owners in the NBA, but at this point, he's an afterthought today. Must be nice. I mean, Tyler, coming from a fan base with a very unsure ownership situation, that should give Titan fans a little bit of hope going forward.
That it should.
And look, I mean, the Spurs are a great team. Congratulations for them getting there. Whatever. They got 5 championships. They'll be fine. Wemby's going to be Wemby. I definitely think they don't have to worry about anything. But it's just, the fun aspect of the story for me is it's cool to see a downtrodden fan base actually just kind of get their moment in the sun. And, I will say, it's fine to win things, but don't destroy things in the process. That's not cool. I've seen a lot of the videos. Chill out, some of y'all. I'm glad you won. I'm glad you're having fun, but don't wreck other people's things, especially people that are having to use those things to work, like vehicles. Just chill out with that. But the whole point of this is the Knicks, as much turmoil as they've been through, on and off, good, bad, roller coaster situation, just like the Tennessee Titans. I hope it gives you a little bit of hope going forward throughout the process that, if you do things right, if you build the right way and you find the right people that love the game and have that kind of passion, it will set you up for success. So, Tyler, I'll leave you with a final thought on that before we shut down for the night.
My final thought that I'm going to go with, because I believe I have my facts right here. It just so happens that the last time that the Knicks and Spurs faced off in the NBA Finals, Titans went to the Super Bowl that year. Now, that being said, Titans did lose that Super Bowl, but the Knicks also lost that Finals. So, Knicks won the Finals this time. Final thought, Titans Super Bowl incoming?
No, you're giving reverse hope. That's what's going on here. I don't hate it. I guess if we're going to sell that narrative, sure, let's go that route. Hell, seems like everybody that's been on like just a downslope of like having to wait multiple decades is winning championships. The Knicks already have done it. Last night, I believe it was the Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup for the first time in 20 years. I guess men's hockey won the gold medal. So we've kind of got a trend going with like just teams that haven't won anything in multiple decades. Are we on the rise? I guess we'll find out. But once again, congratulations, New York. And if you don't like New York, it's whatever too. That's not the lesson here. But of course, I tell you what is the lesson. You showed up for the show tonight, and thank you for watching the Power Hour tonight. Again, one more round of applause before we get out of here. And of course, guys, don't forget, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications for future shows. And trust me, we got a bunch of them coming down the pike. It is going to be really fun next week to talk about how things played out with mandatory minicamp. And we'll definitely put out some shorts as well, because that's going to be really fun to talk about, Tyler. I almost can't wait a week to do it, but that's just how it goes. Sometimes you got to wait for things you want to do. And right. If we did everything we want to do, trust me, then we'd be doing this 24 hours a day, and that'd just be the end of it. So
exactly.
That's not even disputable. We'd just be doing it just to be doing it. So, of course, Tyler, give us your final thought before we shut down for the night.
Final thought, I'm going to go back to something that you hit on, like with in that last segment. If your team wins the championship, even if it's been a while, don't destroy your city. Like, don't destroy other people's property. Like, celebrate, have fun. But do we really need to rip the fronts off of buses? Like, come on.
Or set them on fire, but that's just
Right.
the more you know. All right, guys, that'll do it for us. Thank you once again for joining us on the Power Hour tonight. We will see you next Monday for another great show. And I am definitely excited to be talking about mandatory minicamp when we get the opportunity to. So for Tyler Staggs, I'm Michael Bishop of the Power Hour. And as always, take care and tighten up.
Tighten up.
You're watching the Titan Upload Network.